just that in general.
Yes.
What are the things that stand out the most about Herm and kind of how he structured everything in this first year?
Yeah, you know what he does, and I think we could all appreciate this, and we've all worked for different types of management styles of our leaders. And you know, some guys coach by fear. They want everybody to be uncomfortable all the time. They think that brings out the best, and that actually, unfortunately, works, you know, to some degree. I think it gets old after a while. I don't think it's long lasting. But what he does is he hires guys and then he backs off, and he lets you sink or swim. And when you start to swing, he starts to sink. He holds a hand out there for you and helps you up and tries to guide you along, and he really honestly cares about you and wants you to be better. It's not just about the flat line results with him. He's a true, genuine person that wants everybody around him to get better. And so I think that's the number one thing that stands out most.
What do you do this week now without Nikhil?
Mm-hmm.
How do you change that game plan for Manny and Nino and the rest of the guys on offense without one of your key players?
Right. It's actually more simple to call plays because, you know, when you move guys around, you got to come up with more verbiage and more things to call it to get, you know, Nikhil here, 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 here. And we still have a little bit of that. We move some guys around, but you don't have to worry about it as much. And so what happens with me as an offensive coordinator, you know, when the plays get to be a little bit longer, like this long, then you have to actually look down onto the sheet and call it instead of just calling it. Like, for instance, you know, spread would mean 2 by 2 and the Y goes to the right, you know. But if I wanted, and Nikhil's over here at X, but I wanted Nikhil to be the inside receiver to the right, I would have to say flip, spread, hit, you know. And so all that stuff has got to hit your mind. And, you know, when you're trying to call plays against a play clock, you know, every second you get helps. So it's actually, don't misquote me and say it's easy, like it's better. It's not. I'm just saying it's a little more simple to call the plays, you know, without the long verbiage.
What's it like thinking about how to attack teams when you don't have the field?
You know, you just you can play faster, a little bit faster, and then, you know, you just got to rely on the execution more so than you're looking for a specific matchup. All right, so you know, so really, if you know they have a great player, you could either go away from him or whatever, or you could put, you know, Nikhil on him and match it up. But now you really don't. Those thought processes really don't kind of, you don't have to think about it as long, you know. And so it's just. Well, I got lost with his question. And what did you start with? I'm sorry.
I just assume there's a heightened desire to get the ball to some of your other playmakers in space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is. You know, there's certain guys now that you go, well, this guy does. We got 12 games under our belt, and we kind of know what everybody does. So, you know, we all know Frank is a really good, you know, deep ball threat and all that stuff. So you're thinking, okay, how do I get the ball deep to Frank? How do I get this guy this? Kyle Williams does this really good. This guy does that really good. And so we're kind of there now with a pretty good, comfortable feeling that we know what everybody's, you know, kind of really good at. So you try to call plays to maximize everybody's potential.
Fresno State's number 2 in the nation points them out.
Yeah.
How? And what do they do?
Gosh almighty. I'll tell you this, and I'm not afraid to say it, they might be the best defense we've faced all year. They really might be. If not, they're really, really close. So what they do, number one, scheme-wise, it's kind of hard. It's like kind of what we do, you know. And so they're all over the place, very hard to prepare for. Then on top of that, they're some teams that are like that are they're not coached very well in the little tiny details of, okay, does the corner really force everybody back inside, long arm? They do all of that great, which I was disappointed to see. So they do all the details of their assignment really well. Then on top of all of that, they're athletic and they can recover. So when they get out of gaps, which you have a tendency to do when you're a slanting team and do all that stuff, they can recover. And so what may have been a 15-yard gain off of somebody out of their gap, they can flip, turn, run, catch the guy, and then now it's an 8-yard gain or something, or it's a 6-yard gain. And so they're athletic, they're fast, and they don't have a lot of holes. You look, and what I like to do is look at the explosive tape. What teams are getting explosive passes and explosive runs, and very similar to Washington, that tape's not very long, and that's not what you're looking for as an offensive coordinator when you turn that on. So, and they're really good, and then they play with passion. They really do, and they're tough.
Where's your take on Manny and what legacy he's going to leave here, and what he's done for this young team as one of the veteran players?
You know, just his ability to drown out the noise at a young age, because whether it was deserved or not, you know, he probably faced a lot of whatever you want to call it, you know, from fans or whatever and things like that. And he's, you know, at such a young, impressionable age, and he had to get coached by 4 different men, which is absolutely unheard of. And so after a while, he could have very easily just went, yeah, I hear you, I'm going to do it my way. And just his ability to stay humble and allow our relationship, because he's the one that had to let me in, and our relationship to build and to grow, and the trust that he put in me, I'll never forget that as long as I live. Oh, Danny? I can't stand those defensive guys, man, but he's one of the few I guess I like. But no, we work very well together. I've been on staffs where literally the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator don't even talk, and it's not like that at all. You know, our wives are really good friends. I'm able to walk into his office and say, hey, what do you want to see today? And he tells me, I tell him, what can we get better at? Hey, I'm going to run the reverse on play 3. And oh, good, because my guys need to see what that's going to look like. Things like that where we can, you know, yes, once we cross the white stripe, we get competitive, but it's not to the point where it's a detriment to the team. And so we're always thinking team first. Like I said, I've been on staffs where all the offense cares about is scoring points as fast as they can. They don't even look to see what the defense is doing, and that's not the way Herm built this thing. When he took the job, us 3, we got into a room and said, all we care about is winning the game on Saturday, no matter what it looks like. Hey, guys, we probably could have scored more points this year by going faster, but who knows what that would have done on the other end. And nobody knows that, and who cares? We won games, you know, and so that's what really, that's our relationship is defined by, that's all me and him and Herm and all the other coaches. All we really care about is just winning on that Saturday. Oh, man, it's awesome. I mean, you know, Coach Herm is just, he comes into my office and just like I described earlier, he'll say, you know, I think that we need to do a little bit more of this. And you know, I'll go, yeah, you're right, you know. And he does a really good job. He's had a lot of experience with some great offensive coordinators and able to just sit back. And we, as coordinators, man, we can get, like I've told you guys this before, you guys sometimes can see things. We get caught in that forest, man. We can't see anything. And he's just a great person to stand back. And he doesn't come at you in a way where you go home and, you know, you talk to your wife, go, man, I can't believe you talked to me like that, you know, and all that stuff. But he talks to you in a way where when he walks out of the room, you go, man, I don't want to disappoint that guy. And, I mean, to me, that's everything. You know, I love working for him because he's just, when he talks, what comes out of his mouth is the truth according to him. There is no hidden agenda. There's no little, I just did that so I could keep him on his toes stuff. That doesn't exist with him. He just tells you the truth, and that's how I'm motivated. So I'm really appreciative of the way he manages.
You'll be on the road trip, right?
What's that?
You're going on a road trip too, right? On the buses?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. It's he described it. Some of the players, I don't think they got into the old, it's going to be a boys' road trip type deal. They all want to go there, but they were all looking around going, oh, yeah, Coach, that sounds great. But all the coaches like, oh, yeah, this is going to be cool. We're going to put a movie on. We might get some popcorn. I don't know.
What are you most excited for on the road trip?
Hanging out with Manny, hanging out with Casey, Tyson, who am I leaving out? Senior. There's somebody else. But just hanging out with the seniors, you know, and Ryan Jenkins, and just, you know, being with them one last time, and just creating memories.
In practice, does Manny have like the weight of the last game on his shoulders? Have you seen that at all?
No, not at all. He's a really cool kid. You know, it was great today. We let him do his last home practice. I let him call all the plays in the 2-minute drive. And he'll probably tell you this, so I need to go ahead and tell you that we scored a touchdown. So I know where that all is going. But he chunked a deep ball and hit a touchdown in the 2-minute to win it at the end. So, and all I heard was about how great of an offensive coordinator he is now. So, no, he's like that. He doesn't even think about stuff like that.
I made it sound like you might try to get Jordan in some during the game. Is that part of what you'd like to do, just from going forward standpoint?
Yeah, I'd like to if it presents itself. I would love to get him in the game, and you know, we're going to get some other guys in the game now with the absence of Nikhil. You know, we'll get some guys in there like Jordan Porter. We talked about him; he'll play. Very excited to see what he looks like.
You said AJ Carter might play.
Yeah. Yep. So a lot of the young guys that maybe haven't got reps, you know, they'll get in there and play some, regardless of the situation, like with Porter and AJ.
What do you think about having spring practice that early?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if I've ever done it that early. What I like about it is your weight program won't be divided up into parts. And, you know, some teams even go on spring break and go, you know, and then they come back. But, you know, last time I looked, those guys are teenagers and probably not making all-time greatest decisions on spring break down on the beach. And does everybody go to Florida still? I mean, I don't know. That's where I went. I didn't make great decisions most of the time, but and so, you know, you kind of go down there and you lose everything that you worked on, you know, before you go on spring break. But I like it because now once we get done with spring, and if you have any type of an injury, it gives a way longer time to recover. But they'll be with Coach Connolly from that point all the way down into May, which is great. And then also last year, I think we were a little bit hindered with the recruiting schedule because now you can go out in the second or the third-ish week of April and get out to schools, and we'll be well on our way. We'll be able to plan. It is, you can say it's easy to plan while spring's going on, but it's not, man, because you're all that, and then the spring game is like right around the corner, and you're thinking about parents coming, trying to do a whole great experience. So now we're going to have a whole month to just sit back and go, okay, this is exactly where we want to go recruiting. Boom, 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 and then go out and hit it. So I like it. I'm anxious to see what it's going to be like.
Thank you.
Good? All right. Thank you, guys.